Hello and welcome to the Evolution Exchange Gaming Podcast. I am today's host, Elijah Jenkins, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here in Stockholm at King, where I'm joined by two very special guests who I would love to introduce to the listeners now.
Hi, I'm Bismy. I work as software engineer at King, working in a technical team. I started my career maybe more than 10 years ago. I studied computer science and IT, and then I've been working in the industry ever since, working in mobile games. At King, I worked in different games, including Candy Crush, and currently I work in a technical team. I don't directly work with games anymore, but my work is still impacting a lot of games, which I'm really proud of. So I worked at C Sharp and Unity Game Engine, and here I work with C++. Yeah, that's me.
I'm Ulrika, and I'm also super excited to be here with Bismy to be part of this interview. I am currently taking on the Interim COO role here at King. And my background as Bismy, I started my career as an engineer and moved on then to production, head of production, and joined gaming with starting at Mojang 2016 and have had the pleasure of being part of the gaming world since then, and super excited to now be here at King. And I think a red thread through my career has definitely been around storytelling and entertainment.
No, fantastic. Well, it's brilliant to both have you here today. We're obviously here to discuss women in tech, games, and leadership across the industry. But before we jump into the real nitty gritty of it, what first attracted you to a career in both gaming and tech?
I think it's an easy question. I think it's who doesn't want to work in games, I think, especially when you're young. And when I was young, I was exploring what to do next after finished my graduation. And I stumbled upon this game programming course, which I really liked, and I wanted to give it a try. And I still remember I was like, as I was completing the course, and like I was making a Pac-Man game in my laptop and sitting in my room, and my mom was saying like, "Why are you wasting time on this?" Like she sees little things moving on my screen, and she didn't understand why I was doing this, and she was asking me like, "Will you get a job with this? This looks like you're not doing anything productive." But yeah, in 1 month later, I got a job, and yeah, I've been working in that industry ever since. So yeah.
And yeah, when I grew up, I always loved games. Never thought that I would have the pleasure of working within games. But I always loved numbers, independent of it was being mathematical equations or calendars or anything with numbers. So started my university as a business computing course, which was a mix of both, and then graduated in the year of 2000, where it was the kind of IT boom peak, and joined then a digital agency, it was called, which was very much around like entertainment and storytelling, but digitally. And ever since, I've been part of that journey, but even more focused on gaming the last 10 years.
Ah, fantastic. Yeah, real good introductions into the industry. We've obviously seen a growth in females across the industry within tech and gaming. Just want you to think back to when you first started. What was the gender balance like?
I remember really well how my first day at university, I think it was me and three other women in that course out of maybe 80. And I think that's been a pattern, at least in the beginning of my career, where women was obviously um, like a minority. And I think that's definitely have like affected me in a way that been very conscious about how to encourage and inspire others to step into the world of engineering or gaming by like being inviting, but also trying to take the stands. But it's been definitely very clear from my first day that this is an area that we would want to have more women engaged into.
Mm. Yeah, I can relate to that. When I was studying, it was like 10, 15 years ago, and there was a lot of women in my classrooms, so that was not an issue. If I didn't mention before, I grew up in India, and especially in Kerala, which is the southern part of India, and and everyone graduates by the age of 20. So it was not an issue that we were a lot of women in where I studied, like until the age of 21. And it's when I started studying game programming, or like started working as a game programmer, that's when I see there was like literally no women in the classroom or in my office. And I was not totally used to that, because I was always very comfortable with a lot of women around, and then suddenly have to work in being a minority wasn't that fun. So I think my passion to like bring more gender diverse teams started from there, and everyone who worked with me all those years already know that. And it's just still very close to my heart. I work a lot to improve that.
No, certainly. I think it's really important that we do have that diversity in roles across this industry. Obviously, now we're in 2026. What have been some of the positive changes over the last few years?
I think we see a lot of changes right now, and especially I can talk about King, because when I joined King, I was surprised when it was only 6 years ago, and I was interviewed. One of my interviewers was a woman as well, and when I joined the team, there was already two other girls who were programmers. Just programmers itself is two. And then even now, I'm working in a team where there's already two other girls who are programmers. So I already very inspired, and like already seen the change a lot. But I think the other thing that I noticed that instead of like just telling that, okay, we have an issue with the gender diversity and like we acknowledge it, but now we are also talking about like how to like really change it, and like bring more women into like hiring, improving the hiring practices, or uh, helping women thrive in the organization, like through different career programs for mentorship and with different empowerment programs. So that's has been really impressive in the recent years.
And I echo you, Bethany. Although when I joined earlier, I think a lot there's been a lot of positive change throughout the years. To business point, I think before you could definitely see there was a big gap. But now we are actively more working on changes. We're actually having like women at King, women in gaming. Companies are much more aware and want to make sure that there is more diversity in the teams. So I think going from seeing it, but now actively working to improve it. And we have a lot of female leaders and role models across the industry that also helps shape that kind of change forward.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic. The initiatives that have obviously been set up, and already, at King, a larger sort of female leadership compared to other companies. And you've both obviously had fantastic careers within this industry, and both done really well. What does leadership mean to the pair of you beyond what it says on paper?
I can, yeah, okay. No, I mean, I think leadership is so much more than the title and the hierarchy. It's about behaviors. It's about showing up, role modeling behaviors to inspire others. It's about making sure that you have a safe space and a safe environment for the people that you have around you. It's about speaking up when it matters. And it's definitely around bringing people with you on that journey. So for me, that is leadership. And I think the women in gaming, for example, is like a big inspiration for what type of leadership that comes with.
Yeah. Yeah, I can also relate to that. And I specifically, from my role as a chairperson of the Women at King, I really get inspired by the people we have at King. And for me, leadership is about understanding what the community needs, because I've given this role to actually empower women. And for me, it's about like trying to bring solutions to the problems we already have. We know that we have still a lot of work to do, and being a woman in tech myself, I know how I have experienced these issues myself. So I'm very much driven by the challenges, because I will not settle to like, oh, we cannot do this. I will always try to find a solution and try to build it. And I get a lot of support from King and like executive sponsors like Ulrika, and all the people around me. It's really helpful, and it's not possible without it. But yeah, for me, I think it's like solving problems and challenges is my biggest thing when it comes to leadership, because I think it's in my program or mindset. Like I always want to solve problems.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, fantastic. And we've mentioned the Women in King initiative and network a couple of times now, which Bismy, you obviously
Yeah.
head up and the lead of. So I'd love to hear a bit more about that and how it started.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a network, as it says, like Women at King is a network of women at King, and we really deeply care about wellness of women and actually career progression of women, so we can do it in different ways. So we run a lot of programs to support that. But when it started, I think it started in 2016, maybe before I joined. I joined in 2019, but I think it started because that was the time when a lot of companies around the world were like releasing gender diversity reports, and it was not looking good at all. And I think the wave of this need started, that building communities of women in organizations and how it can like help women thrive in the organization. At the end, I think it have served well for a lot of people in many companies, including at King. I hear a lot of first-hand experiences and like people talking to me about how they really look forward to these things and like how it's like really helping them thrive in this company. And yeah, that's us. And we have different initiative, and it's well-established network now. We have different locations already, and we have people, our volunteers and leads in different locations. They run the activities locally, and I look across the different locations, and also run like a lot of career programs. And we have supporters like Ulrika, who's really like championing our network across King, because we need support from the leaders as well. And we get big support from King as well in terms of like executing these events, like giving that infrastructure and like money needed for it.
And joining King, I'm super impressed by
Yeah.
the work that Women in King. So encourage all employees to have these initiatives.
No, fantastic. It sounds really, really good, and certainly one of the first initiatives that I've seen, certainly across this industry as well, which is really, really positive to see. You've mentioned some of the initiatives and the events that obviously that you run within the network. What are some of them?
It's a lot of initiatives. I think we are already doing a lot, but I want to do more. But so we do like really small things. Sometimes it's just like casual gatherings of like casual fika, like we have in Stockholm. We have like sometimes lunch and learn. We just like eat lunch together and learn something. And it could be bigger programs like the one we recently launched is Women at King sponsorship program, which is really good thing that we are highlighting like about 10 members from our network, and we really giving them like an extra chance to like a push to their career growth. And we do that by like matching them with a mentor who is a leader at King. And it's really good that they get insight to leaders, how they think, and like how it is to be a leader, look to actually know that before they actually become a leader. And it's not just the mentorship, we also give them opportunity to speak, because I think a lot of women I know struggle with like communication and confidence, obviously because we were the only person in the room a lot of times when we grew up. So it's that those are the areas we need to give them growth. So we run different panels, helping them like do a brand of like storytelling, and also different discussions, like to give them different perspectives of their views to actually a big network, because we are a big network and we are giving that opportunity to speak in front of them, to actually to help them gain the confidence and visibility and improve the communications. And in this week, I have to say that this is the International Women's Month, and like this, we have and in Saturday we have the International Women's Day as well, and we have planned a lot of things actually, and one of which is we are giving a spotlight of our executive sponsors. So they will be, we will have our diversity, senior diversity. Mm, mm, yeah, she's gonna interview wikis for an interview Eva and Ulrika. And we also have other mentors joining. So we have like 5 leaders in the panel, like everyone can listen to and like really talk about how they lead as a woman themselves and like how they support this mentorship program we run. And we also have a cross network panel. So we have different networks. It's not just Women at King. We have networks like where you celebrate different cultures, people working from different countries, and we also have a network for neurodivergent. So we have a network for everything, and it's also good to support them and like give them the chance because it's gender diversity and like imbalance is affected by a lot of people. So it's good to give this platform for them to like really talk about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think the work is so great. I think that we can also see the outcomes of the work because it's really you can see how the conversation helps people to get inspired and also to like you have spotlights in how people get inspired by other stories in the journey and the mentorship. So it's I think you can really see the positive outcomes of the work that's coming out of the forums.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Really good to see that it's been really positive for King and the company as a whole. And Bismy, you mentioned that early in your career, you're sometimes one of the only women in the room or one of the few, and I can imagine it was the same for yourself, Ulrika. How do you feel that women can develop the self-leadership and confidence in teams to step forward?
Oh yeah. No, I think everyone can do it if they want to. I think that's the most important part. I think stepping out of that comfort zone. I think this is also where we have like women have to maybe be better. Like relating to myself, like step out of that kind of perfection, trying to be perfect, and like dare to get out of the comfort zone and start to voice your ambitions, to get feedback, to get mentorship and inspiration. I think self development and also with the kind of support that's around you, take the advantage of it, such as what Bismy is doing with Women at King. So I think if you want to take those steps, nothing is stopping you, but it's about encouragement of stepping out of the kind of comfort zone or the perfection, and start find the confidence in it and get the support around you.
Yeah. I think it starts the self leadership start through like small initiatives that you can run yourself, and you always need support from people around you because you need to know how we can improve the things you're doing. Like you need a support system and you need people to give you feedback, and I think help and it can be you can achieve that through mentors or like it could be just your colleagues and members in your team as well. Anyone you think that is communicating better or like being more visible and you are inspired about, you can like find them as your mentor and like grow your leadership skill because you're never going to be ready. You always it's about like like trying to get more practice as much as you can when you get the opportunity.
And I just want to add to that. Also, being in the right environment that supports it. I think that's definitely key. Like finding a place, an employer, and a safe space which is encouraging this, because I think that's definitely key for taking those steps.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be a lot of blockers, so it's also about like all these finding this perfect balance of everything that, and you also the resilience is important. Like when you have a blocker, you need to work around and like go through it.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think that's certainly really good. In terms of then women who are looking to, get started in the industry or have maybe become a bit stuck, what advice would you give to them in terms of wanting to build the leadership skills in their career? Is there any like books or, just advice that you'd give to people wanting to grow and progress within the industry?
I think relating back to the previous questions again, voice it and get feedback, get support, and everyone can do it if they want to. I think also remain yourself, be honest, like be your authentic self. Don't try to be anyone else. And there's obviously tons of books to read. I think me and Bismy can go through. We have a separate podcast about leadership inspiring books. but there, yeah. So self development by learning and finding inspiration is definitely key for growth. And again, everyone can do it if you want to, and you have the right supporting system around you. I think that's definitely key, and in the right environment, in the right place to work at.
Mm. I can also try to give some tips from my practical experience, because leadership, there is a traditional, like, concept of what a leader looks like, and I don't believe in that, but there are a few things I think still matters, like communication and visibility and confidence. And it's in sometimes you already all have all of it, but sometimes you lack in like one of those things, and it's about understanding your own skills, right? Like what you need to develop. And once you get that, then I think then you are like making yourself ready all the time. So if it's like confidence, or like, let's say, if it's communication, I think you need to like really, you can even just get a course. Like, you sometimes you're very socially awkward, so it's you're not like talking all the time. You can actually get some practice sessions through some course, or like speak to your mentor and colleagues, like find mentors, people who can help you practice these things. And if it's the visibility, I think just like lead an initiative at your work. Like, it doesn't have to be like, sometimes nobody assigns you, like make you a leader to do something. Like, you can take ownership of, because sometimes there's always so many ideas floating around in an organization. You can just say, oh, I like this. Can I do this? You can just talk to your manager and like go for it. And then you like show a result, and that you get visibility through that. And then you should, if you are struggling with confidence, I would also say that start small. I'm also a perfect example. I normally don't go to any social events, but now actually I own a dinner club. So I organize dinners, monthly dinners, and like a lot of women come. And it's giving me a practice to organize people, and like getting things, in a way that people like enjoy coming and like coming back. So that's also me practicing how, work as a leader in practice. I think I would do that, and it's not that said and easy that this is everything. Even if you do all the things, you will still have a lot of blockers, because sometimes you say that, oh, I want to lead this initiative, but let's say your manager said no, you have to work on something else. That you have to face it. These are like specifics that you need to solve yourself. You can always still go for it, and then just show the result. Yeah, I would say just like really understand yourself, and like go what resonates with you, and like go from there.
No, fantastic. I think that's really good. And I think, as you've both highlighted, you to be brave and courageous, and have that inner self-belief and not be scared. And we've talked a lot about that, feeling comfortable enough to step out as well. It can be quite daunting to be one of the few women in a certain room. And obviously we've talked about fantastic initiatives here that you're running at King as well. Where do you feel the industry still has work to do to help women feel supported and comfortable to step into these leadership roles?
I think we a lot of change has happened. I think we see much more diverse teams, and I think the world also understands today the great value of that diversity, and how much that helps from like creativity or like different insights. So I think we are in a much better position. I think also how we live life is different today, which also helps. But I would definitely say to continuously talk about it, continuously have these really important initiatives, and not forget about it. I think the day, like for me and my experience, like looking at King, for example, if you look at the senior leadership today, we're more women than men, for example. And I think that's also like a really shows and inspires. And I think seeing that those areas will help and continue working on. So if you want to achieve it, you will be able to achieve it. But then it's that work that needs to be going into it too.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think we still, especially I can say about the technical teams, there's still a lot of room for improvement to get more women into it, because I believe that women sees the world very differently, and when you have like really diverse teams, it can really help you build products that are like completely different. Will be like still engaging and like commercially successful, and it can still be more socially responsible and like give more positive long-term impact in the society. And I think the diverse perspective is really important. So it's good that we have more, and it's also important that we have we are being this role model for future women. And when we have so this is we are making a welcoming environment for them to like more women to join. Like this is not like scary place to go to. We have been thriving here, and like we are making a career out of this. So it's people new people can still join.
Yeah, brilliant. Certainly that opening and welcoming environment for anyone to come and join the fantastic initiatives that are going on at King. We spoke a lot about self-belief and sort of mindset and not being scared. What skills and mindset have you developed throughout your career professionally to make you be able to step forward into these new roles?
Oh, so many. So, I mean, if I look back, I was very shy. I'm definitely more of an introvert. I remember being at school and dreading having presentations and like not being able to sleep. So I think I think but I think what I've done is try to not shy away,
Mm.
but go into the zone or maybe the uncomfortable. But then we're also very clear about like again, it's not going to be perfect. It's okay to fail. And again, I was going to iterate on the importance of having that safety around you that allows you to fail. And then I think I'm still learning. I'm still developing. The world is constantly changing. There's always going to be new insights. So I think that's been a key for me, that continuously being curious, continuously learn and lean in and never think that I'm right. I think there's always going to be something there, and love to get challenged to grow. So I think that's for me. I'm still learning, but to be aware of it, and to remain curious and continue seek up and knowledge.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Every day is certainly a school day. You can always learn something new. Bisme, in terms of
Yeah.
your self skills and mindset that you've developed throughout your career.
Yeah, I can talk about the mindset shift because when I was working, started this industry, I was the only woman, and like it was really struggling to continue working, like to get my opinions across and like get taken seriously. So I was like very upset about like how flawed the system is, and like how unfair it feels, and it was like taking a lot of weight and like draining my energy, and it obviously affect my mental health and like performance, so which is not good because I want to eventually grow in my career. So I took a step back to actually like not worry about that too much and like just protect my own energy and like sanity. So that can help me focus on like delivering results, which is actually practical and useful for the business and in terms of you know like building my own career itself. So so that's my takeaway, to like actually like stay away from the frustration and actually like protecting my energy and like be in my like what people say like peak performance. So yeah, uh, that's my shift.
Brilliant. No, I think that's all really good, and certainly some great tips there as well that listeners who are obviously wanting to develop and grow in their career can really take into their work to help them progress as well. In terms of obviously your careers, you've obviously been in the industry for a while now, the pair of you. What has been a moment where you felt there was real progress for women within leadership, within gaming?
Yeah. Um, I I would say like a memory was in China for launching a game, and I think that was a big moment, standing as the only women um, in this kind of announcement, and looking around in the audience, also having mainly men. I think I have a huge respect for China and the kind of work, but also recognizing the progress that's happening in Europe. So I think that was like being able to also be there and represent women, and hopefully I that day inspired some other women, and like became like a different pattern. So I think that was like a moment of memory for me, and again embracing also how much has changed and what still to do.
Of course.
Yeah, so one of my proud moment is, I think, when I was working in a team where there was like very less female representation, and I was worried about like how the hiring panel was also looking like it was all men, and like we were like sometimes I believe that we need like diverse representation in the interview panel, because how you perceive talent depends on like how diverse the interview panel is. So I really was trying to push for it, like talking to the engineer managers and all that. Like we need more women in the interview panel. Like I was interviewed also by women, so I want to see that happening to other women when they are applying. They should not be like feel scared, like like they're asking. They need to be like asked in different ways. So we need to like rearrange the questions in a way that it's not like non daunting, because we don't want women to be nervous during the interview. That's not the purpose. It's about like getting to understand what they know. So there was changes in the interview panel after that, like we have several levels of interview, so we have been like trying to improve people in different levels and like have a more diverse representation there. And it was really great to see this like little changes affecting, and like how more women can like actually feel safe to apply and like get hired here.
No, I think that's really, really good, and obviously great signs of progress. But we still hope for even more progress as we obviously in 2026 and further into the next years to come as well. In terms of then inspiration, everyone has someone they look up to or someone who's inspired them in their journey. I know for me, growing up as a big football fan, my hero was Steven Gerrard. Obviously, I've never played for Liverpool, otherwise I wouldn't be here doing this podcast. But in terms of then yourselves, who or what has inspired you within your career to keep going and keep developing?
Yeah, I can go. So for me, it's a lot of people who I work with. I think, like I was talking about, like I was so surprised by already two other girls working as engineers in my team. So for me, it's like a fun moment because I never seen a lot of women working as programmers. So I think I get inspired from a lot, and it's not just women, because we are also working with men, and how they're like really treating us, like seeing us one, like not doubting us. Oh, this is coming from a woman, and the woman is speaking. It's not seeing as yourself as an individual. It's also really inspiring to work in teams, like make teams who are like really diverse, and like how we are valued equally. And I also motivated by challenges itself. I think it has always been with me. So I had never settled for now. So it's also a program of mindset, I think. Always look for solutions. And yeah, so I think the challenges always motivate me, and the people around me, and the leaders supporting as well.
Yeah, echo this. I think it's not one person. It's definitely several persons around me. That's been encouraging and inspiring me. And I think in the day to day, still, like I think we have amazing female leaders here at King, and have the honor to work with them and inspire them, and also like beyond. I have had one female boss. That was also really inspiring. But again, I think it's definitely around finding like role models and inspirations around you, and that's gonna help.
No, fantastic. Really good stories there of inspiration. We've talked a little bit about the future and how we still need to improve. But what excites you most about the future for women within gaming?
Yeah, I can go. I think we're excited because growing up, when I was trying to enter the industry, or like when I started working in my first company, there was no leaders who are women. So it was lack of representation, like role models for me to actually see in women. And now it's not the case. I think we have a lot of women in the leadership, especially in King as well. So this is the way that we have role models now compared to how it was before. It's really good that it makes a more welcoming space for women to apply for the future. Yeah, I think I'm excited about that. And yeah.
I two business points. Okay, but yeah, it's an environment where the next generation is growing up with a lot of like female leaders who have started up their own companies. And again,
Yeah.
you don't have to be like the title doesn't say you're a leader, so but you think people are taking more spaces. So I think the coming generation that's growing up today is growing up into a different set like space plate than we were. So I think that's really exciting to see how that's going to shape. And I think we're going to continue to see again the great value of diversity, not only women but getting pure diverse
Yeah.
team across.
And I'm so excited for the different types of products we are going to build
Yeah.
because of this diverse network we have, because it's going to be, yeah, it will be more for socially responsible and like, give more positive impact. Yeah.
Yeah. And any future events for the women in King that we can look forward to? Anything in the pipeline that you can tell us about?
We're working on a lot of things. I think we have been identifying different areas that we want to work on, like confidence and like communication skills. So we are trying to work with our communication team. We have a comms network here to give us like specific training, like workshops and stuff to actually how to structure, a talk and how to like really brand yourself, even if you have to represent yourself. Yeah. So we get like experts are gonna train us. So and it's still in the work, but yeah.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Definitely sounds like really good. I think, yeah, really good to, that personal development side as well. Get more confidence in people is certainly really important. And I think today has just been so insightful and so inspiring for both myself, but certainly all the listeners at home now. And I'd just love to wrap up with one final message from each of you for the listeners to take home. So whoever would like to go first, feel free.
Yeah. I can say from my experience, obviously, confidence comes after action, not before it. So I will leave it at that. So you will never be ready. So just go for it, and then you will become confident. And once you've done something, it will be, you will be already known to you. So
Yeah, step out of the comfort zone, but make sure also that you have people around you that you can get feedback from and to help you through that journey. But if you want to do it, anyone can do it. And be your authentic self. I think that's really important. Like, don't try to be someone else than yourself.
Brilliant. What a fantastic way to finish. A massive thank you to our guests, Ulrika and Bismy, for joining me here at King in Stockholm for a very special on-site episode regarding women in leadership in tech and gaming. I've been your podcast host, Elijah Jenkins, and you can follow me on LinkedIn at Elijah Jenkins and contact me at elijah.jenkins@evolution-nordics.com to find out more about what we do. A massive thank you to our guests, and we hope you can join us next time. Thank you.
Thank you.